welcome to another edition of Maryland's Missing and the Murdered. My name is Kara Stone, and here's a little information about this channel. Maryland's Missing and the Murdered is a weekly YouTube channel that covers the topic of missing and murdered individuals from the state of Maryland. This week, we are covering the story of Christine Jarrett from Elkridge, Maryland. In January 1991, Christine Jarrett was a 34-year-old mother of two, Michael and Bobby Jr., who ages 5 and 10. Christine was married to Robert Jarrett, and according to neighbors and family, their marriage was an unhappy one. On the evening of January 3rd, 1991, Christine Jarrett disappeared. Robert Jarrett reluctantly reported her missing to police 2 days later on January 5th, 1991. Jarrett told police that he and his wife had an argument about money. He then stated he fell asleep while watching TV in the basement, and when he woke up, Christine was gone and had taken off with $4,000. Police started interviewing neighbors and family. Christine's niece advised them that Robert Jarrett did not even want to report her missing. A neighbor reported to police that Robert Jarrett verbally and physically abused his wife. They also told police that they did not believe Robert's story about leaving after kissing her sons goodbye, because Christine never would have left without her sons. Friends, desperate for answers, hired a psychic who stated that Christine was close by. When the psychic asked Robert Jarrett for a personal object of Christine so she could help connect further, Robert Jarrett refused. 2 weeks after Christine Jarrett went missing, a neighbor saw Robert Jarrett pouring concrete in his shed in the backyard. Police suspected Robert Jarrett and his wife's disappearance, but due to the lack of probable cause and consent, they could not search the Jarrett property. In 1993, Robert Jarrett remarried a woman named Martha. He moved Martha in to the same home he lived in with Christine. The Jarretts continued to live in that home until December 2011, when they separated. Robert Jarrett moved out and moved to Prince Frederick, Maryland. In April 2012, the police was alerted to the Jarrett separation, and they decided to pay a visit to Martha Jarrett. The police asked Martha if they could search the property. The police was given consent, and in a shed behind the home, under concrete and floorboards, they found a body. The body was transported to the medical examiner's office. The body was identified as Christine Jarrett due to dental records and also by clothes and jewelry that she was buried in. Unfortunately, due to her being buried under concrete for 21 years, they could not determine the cause of death. On April 18, 2012, Robert Jarrett was arrested for the murder of his first wife, Christine. After he was arrested, his estranged wife, Martha, filed for divorce. The murder trial began the following year. Neighbors and family testified to the abuse of Christine and how Robert Jarrett would get upset if neighborhood kids got too close to the shed that hid his wife's body for 21 years. The defense tried to argue that the body wasn't even Christine, and how DNA testing couldn't be performed to confirm her identity due to the fact that Christine's sons had her cremated before any DNA test could be done. On April 23, 2013, Robert Jarrett was convicted of second-degree murder. Sentencing took place on August 8, 2013. Before he was sentenced, Bobby Jarrett Jr. gave his victim impact statement. He said, quote, "When my father took my mother's life, he murdered who Michael and I could become. The 21 years my mother spent buried under a shed in the backyard has played a starring role in many night terrors where I wake up screaming," end quote. The judge then sentenced Robert Jarrett to the maximum 30 years in prison. Thank you for joining me this week. If you would like to get in touch with me, please email me at marylandsmissing@gmail.com. Music is by Silent Vengeance. Sources will be listed in the outro. I will see you again next week. Be kind to one another. You never know what will happen tomorrow.